Hawaii's natural beauty has lured people to the islands for centuries. Unfortunately, as the number of people has grown, so has the amount of trash left behind. Thankfully, there are people that care enough about the Aina to do something about it. One such individual is Charles Lee. Charles is relocating to San Diego for a new position with the federal government, and he decided to do something a little different for his going away bash.
But I decided to do a beach cleanup instead of going out to a bar or club, just to change things up a bit. Most people, when they heli onto the mainland, they go out and party at a place, and it's really loud. You don't really have the opportunity to spend any quality time with your friends and talk to them in a place where it's actually a little bit quiet. And on top of all that, my friends and I enjoy the beach. Probably had some of my best times and best experiences with my friends at the beach, hanging out in places like this. So I didn't really think there could be any place better. On top of that, doing something small for the environment, doing something small for Hawaii, even though it's minuscule, like a beach cleanup, in comparison to what Hawaii has given me, just felt like a good idea, something positive to do before I leave to the mainland.
The beach Charles selected is part of the Makapu'u Wayside State Park. Just around the corner from Makapu'u Beach, the park is home to the Makapu'u Lighthouse, the Ka'ivi Shoreline, often referred to as Allen Davis, and the Pele's Chair swimming area.
I've been coming back to this Allen Davis Pele's Chair area for about 11 years now. It's probably my favorite beach on the island. It's a beautiful spot. You can see the water's clear, it's clean, the fishing's great, it's great diving. I've had a lot of great memories here. Really the only blemish is the amount of trash that's in the surrounding area, so I wanted to pick this spot to try to resolve that problem today.
Charles is not the only one to have a special affinity for this place. The ancient Hawaiians had many tales of the area. Kumuhulu and Kamehameha School's teacher Kaleo Trinidad offered to share with us on how the area came to be known as Makapu'u.
Makapu'u is a name for a place found on the eastern side of the Oahu Island. And Makapu'u is actually made up of two different Hawaiian words. The first being maka, and the second is pu'u. Maka is the Hawaiian word for eyes, maka, and pu'u meaning to bulge out. So when you have those two words put together, maka pu'u means the bulging eyes. This name comes from the Hawaiian goddess by the same name, Makapu'u. She was a daughter of the Hawaiian goddess of fertility, Haumea, and she was a sister of Hi'iaka and Pele. She came over from Tahiti in Pele's travels and was left there to preside over that area on Oahu, while the rest of the Pele family and Pele clan moved on to Kilauea on the Big Island. Hawaiians believe that Makapu'u presided there for many, 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 many years. And Makapu'u was a goddess that was known to have 8 eyes bulging from her forehead. And she, according to legend, she was a very, very fearsome looking akua, a very fearsome looking Hawaiian goddess. In one of the stories, Hi'iaka comes over and she's sent to fetch Lohi'au. The first place that Hi'iaka comes to is Makapu'u, and she makes sure to greet her sister in the proper way by bringing a little offering and sacrifice for Makapu'u. There were two Hawaiian goddesses that lived at that point on Oahu. Makapu'u being the first one, and Malei being the second. She actually lived at the top of Makapu'u Point, and she was the goddess of all of the uhu fish that gathered and surrounded that area. Back in the old Hawaiian days, it was known that the uhu would swarm in the waters off of that area because of the goddess Malei, who took care of the fish in that area. There was actually a cave that was hidden on that hill, on that sea cliff face, that housed the body of Makapu'u, and up until recent times, the rock body that was shaped like a woman and that had 8 eyes still lived there, but it's not to be found there anymore. And then all of this information, all of these stories were given to me by my kumu, who was able to study with Mary Kapena Pukui, And I actually heard these stories back in the late 80s when I was a student here at Kamehameha School myself. So really glad to just share a little bit, tidbits of stories about Makapu'u and the meaning of the name and who it was named for.
We humans are not the only ones who come to play here. Between the months of November and April, it is quite common to see humpback whales frolicking just off the coast. The whales migrate nearly 3,500 miles from Alaska to give birth to their calves in the warm Hawaiian waters. This area was once accessible with a four-wheel drive vehicle, but a few years ago the state blocked access with cement pillars and by installing a gate at the main entry point. After this, getting to Pele's chair meant a long hike in. However, recently a new parking lot was added much closer to the start of the trail, making access significantly easier. Unfortunately, more people means more trash. Charles was able to get the U.S. Navy to donate gloves and trash bags to use for the cleanup efforts. He turned to another friend to help get the word out.
Hi, I'm Mish, and we're here at Pele's chair to do a wonderful beach cleanup. The day is less than wonderful, but we're here with great company on behalf of our friend Charles, who's leaving. And instead of having a drunken, going away party at the club, we decided to do something good for the Aina. So we're here cleaning up.
The volunteers met in the new parking lot, and once armed with trash bags and gloves, they headed towards Pele's chair, picking up any trash they spotted on and off the trail. They continued all the way out to the water, painstakingly picking up shards of glass, bottles, discarded clothing, and anything that looked like it didn't belong. At the swimming area, there were many bottles and cans carelessly dropped among the rocks. Charles and his friends spent several hours picking up what others had left behind. When they finally called it a day, Charles was quite happy with the results.
It really means a lot to me that my friends came out. I wasn't expecting this many people. I thought it was just going to be me and maybe 2 or 3 other guys, but we ended up getting about 30 people, which is way, way more than I expected. And for them to get up early on a Saturday morning when it's kind of cold outside, when they'd probably rather be in bed under covers, definitely means a lot. I have a lot of great friends on this island, and I'm definitely going to miss them.